Mio-san, can I talk to you about something with this Yumeniki-esque soundtrack? At least has a Yumeniki kind of vibe to it. Yes, of course. You listen to me, so it's my turn to listen to you. Well, it's about Oyashiro-Sama. You might laugh at me. I won't. You didn't laugh at me either. Mio-san said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me. Even so, I still hesitated to talk, but there was probably nobody but Mio-san with whom I could talk about something like this. I held my courage again and spoke. I have met Oyashiro-Sama. You have? Yes, I used to live in Hinamizawa until right before I went to elementary school. But my mom got a job in Ibaraki, so we moved. Well, you know what that means, right? Yes, I do. You broke the rule of Oyashiro-Sama, which is to never leave Hinamizawa. That's right. And then, many things happened. My mother divorced my father. My family was broken. I got desperate and did some bad things. It must have been terrible. Then, what happened? I started hating everything in this world, and I started to feel like everybody who was happy was looking down on me. That's when a mysterious existence started to appear. You mean Oyashiro-Sama? The first time it came to me was, please don't tell anybody about this. It was when I started injuring myself. I cut my body with a knife. I cut my neck and something very dirty and gross came out with the blood from the wound. It was, I'm not going to laugh. Go on. The chill I felt at that time came back to me. I sealed that memory away so that I wouldn't have to remember ever again. But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes, back then there was something in the blood. Oh, something crawling. Those countless dark red maggots. Is that why you got this background all this time, to allude to that? Oh! They screamed up and out from my neck with each drop of blood. They wanted to stay in my body, so they crawled back in through the cut. I didn't want those creepy things to get back inside my body, so I clawed at my cut on my neck to get them out. But it hurt so much and it only made my hands and neck bloody. I got scared all of a sudden. I was scared because I thought they would that many nasty maggots in my blood vessels, so I cut a blood vessel on my thigh just to see how it looked. I thought I could see it better if it was on my thigh. Then I used that from them too, so many of them. This sounds like it could have a connection of sorts here, couldn't it? But Jesus Christ, that is a horrific image. I understand, Ryuga-san, so please calm down. No, you don't understand. The maggots came out from my blood, but then they tried to get back inside my veins. It really, really itches. Ah! Is this like a memory, or is this like... Well, it is, isn't it? But is it a memory of way back when this actually happened? Or is this her talking to Takano here? Please bring a doctor. No, don't claw it like that. Bring me a sedative. Hurry. Hold her down. Just kill the maggots in my veins. Please take all the blood out of my body and flush my veins out. There's so many of them in there. Why don't you believe me? I'll show you. You'll believe me if you see them, right? I don't want to get any more shots. No. Damn. So from this, we get that Rena self-harmed in the past, and not only that, but she saw some unseeable things. Calm down, okay. Mio-san sat next to me and held my hand tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality. So, what happened? Nobody believed me, but then he showed up. Oyashiro-Sama came to me. The memory was very vague, and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. I met Oyashiro-Sama. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oyashiro-Sama was unbelievably vague. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something moving in my veins. So I went to look at my body to make the blood ooze out so that I could make sure that there were no maggots in there. It's just, this fucking nasty image. Usually I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking. But one day I forgot to take the pill, and my consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins, and I felt the urge to look inside. Ooh. It's like this stuff like this is why I've been dreading this arc, because it's just like, oh, that's nasty. I got out a vein on my wrist. Ooh, I knew a lot of blood, and he does get rid of it. Get out of the bones. I went to wash them off before the girl fucking the water was sinking right out of the vein. Ooh. You know, the most disturbing thing is there is actually like cases where like shit like that does literally get under people's skin, and that is fucking terrifying. Ooh. Water, blood, and maggots ran down into the drain. Just like squeezing at the pus from a pinball, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. Please stop! My arms started to feel numb, and I felt cold, but I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all my blood out of me. And then a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I had never experienced anything like it in my life. For all of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. This seems to be the... You could see this as the Oyashiro-Sama theme, really. Remember, like... Well, I don't know. Something like that. Remember in Maggots, I remember a scene that had this music play. It's like, and then do. It has that ominous kind of this character is going off the deep end kind of theme to it. It was very warm and gentle. That was Oyashiro-Sama. Oyashiro-Sama was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wound, the maggots started melting and disappearing in front of my eyes. That wasn't all. The maggots that were moving throughout all my veins disappeared too. Oyashiro-Sama taught me. Those maggots were the curse. People of the demon's blood can't live outside of Hinamizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad and I feel sorry for you. There's only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer was very simple. All I needed to do was to go back to Hinamizawa. I unconsciously knew that before I heard it from Oyashiro-Sama. People who were born in Hinamizawa must never leave. But I broke Oyashiro-Sama's rules and I left Hinamizawa. That's why my family was broken and I lost my mind. But they were away from Hinamizawa for quite a few years at least, right? If I hadn't left Hinamizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. And so I had to go back. Oyashiro-Sama also told me this. You can make the maggots the embodiment of the curse disappear, but only temporarily, because I live far from Hinamizawa. After a while, the power of Oyashiro-Sama would fade away, and the curse would start eating my body again. If that happened, the maggots would take over my body and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Hinamizawa before its power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what Oyashiro-Sama told me. He did. I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Hinamizawa earlier. That's why Oyashiro-Sama came to me to put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sin of living in Hinamizawa. Dad, listen, Oyashiro-Sama's gonna help us. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa's the place where we must live. If we don't, not only me, but you might be cursed too. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry, or Oyashiro-Sama's power will fade away and my body will be eaten by my maggots. Oh no! Oyashiro-Sama's fault me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and keeps telling me to hurry. He keeps apologizing to me for putting his curse on me. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots of Oyashiro-Sama? Everybody's trying to fool me. I know they can see them too. No, please stop. I don't want to get another shot. Ah! Are you okay? I was just half expecting it to just come back to me and just like, and then what happens? I was breathing hard and Mio-san was holding my shoulders. I could feel that the terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. But you can definitely see why she'd want to forget something like that. Doctor told me that the memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it, and I unconsciously connected desire to the folk tale of Oyashiro-Sama that I read when I was little. Makes sense, I guess. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved the things I saw were just hallucination. Doctors asked my father to consider moving to Hinamizawa if possible. Fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So I guess that's how they ended up back in Hinamizawa. So we came back to Hinamizawa. After we came back to Hinamizawa, I felt it. I felt it in my bones that this was the place we should live. And I also felt Oyashiro-Sama's blessing. I definitely felt it. I felt the curse of Oyashiro-Sama starting to break. I was free! After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gogoro for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous looking pills and I kept taking them for a while. The terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effects of the pills, and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then I changed my name, Rena. The reason was because my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything icky in my life anymore. That's why I came up with the idea of taking icky things out. After I took the E of icky out from my name, Rena, there were only Re and Na left. When I looks in Japanese, probably just the hiragana, I guess. I guess it makes sense just she's referring to as the icky things, considering the maggot shit. That's just nasty. Yeah, Re, Na. That's how Rena was born. I like that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Rena. Since then, that had been my name. I'm living my new life as Rena. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Rena. My father still calls me Rena, but I don't feel bad as long as it was just my father and my relatives. But then Rena came into my life one day and she called me Rena. Because she called me Rena, those colored lights started flickering again. I should stop, I should forget about it. The lights were still flickering. I'm sorry, was I panicking that badly? You were muttering to yourself. I'm glad you calmed down. Judging by Mio-san's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought I was. But I've probably had those panicked hallucinations several times. I started screaming and yelling like I once did. They'd take me away to a hospital again for sure. I'm certain I met Oyashiro-Sama. I saw the Maggots. It's hard to believe, right? Mio-san smiled, looking a little confused. I couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I created for myself in my hallucinations. I can't believe I can't trust myself. That's the worst feeling of all. Rena-chan, first of all, you don't have to worry about anything. Yes. I'm talking about the curse you're afraid of, and the maggots that you saw in your blood. According to what Oyashiro-Sama said, you're free from them as long as you stay in Hinamizawa, right? Yes, that's what he said. Then you don't have to be scared. You don't have to worry about anything. You're in Hinamizawa right now. Well, this library is in Okamiya, but it's very close to Hinamizawa. I'm sure it's okay with Oyashiro-Sama. You don't feel anything moving in your veins right now, do you? No, I don't. So there's nothing to worry about. You're following Oyashiro-Sama's rules. There's nothing you should be scared of, is there? Right? No. I didn't know until then that she was such a warm-hearted person. Met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me and didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot and a drug I hated. On the other hand, Mio-san didn't deny my story or the existence of Oyashiro-Sama. The people in this village whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy, but she was actually a very kind person, I thought. Rena-chan, I believe everything you just told me. Thank you so much. You're the first one to ever say that to me. So are you. You're the first one who didn't laugh at me and listen to me so seriously. I think we can be good friends. It's kind of like Maggots a bit there, though, isn't it? Mia-san smiled, touching my head with hers. Well, I'll let you borrow my secret files and my scrapbooks. These are top secrets. I didn't want to show these to anybody, but you're special. I think I can trust you. I know you'll take them seriously. She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me. Let me know what you think about after you read them. There might be something in them that only you can understand. Mia-san was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody about these scrapbooks or that I'm studying this, okay? We're keeping this a secret? Okay, I got it. If they find out that I've been studying this, they might get rid of me. She laughed after she said that. They might erase her. That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks. That's not all there is to it. It's the way Tomitaka-san died. Just like when Keiichi learned about how Tomitaka died, he was absolutely mortified, obviously, understandably. But as we've learned from Rena's backstory there, it kind of has a similar kind of thing, so Rena can probably look at this in a different perspective than Keiichi did. She said he committed suicide because of a state of excitation caused by using some kind of drug, but I knew what really happened. I didn't tell Oyashiro-Sama about it. I don't think he'd have believed me even if I told him. It would have been interesting to see her perspective when he told her about it, though, you know. Without a doubt, Tomitaka-san died trying to get rid of the maggots. It was nothing other than the curse of Oyashiro-Sama. So never believe Hinamizawa isn't the only rule of Oyashiro-Sama. There are more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Oyashiro-san told me. Tomitaka-san was taking pictures with his camera flash on during the sacred ritual dance, and some people got mad at him for it. Did Oyashiro-san put his curse on Tomitaka because he violated the sacred ritual dance? It might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse of Oyashiro-san without a doubt. Did that mean Oyashiro-san put his curse on Mia-san too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Mia-san told me that they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in a conspiracy to revive the faithful Oyashiro-Sama. Say the three families, but all that's left of the Rena family is Rika herself. It's like, if they all are in on this, then why did her parents die then? But I can tell by the way Tomitaka-san died that it was the act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced the curse myself. At first glance, that seemed incompatible with those conspiracy theories about human beings. I remember that Oyashiro-san told me something about some kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. So, do the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse for Oyashiro-sama? It's impossible. Plus, I didn't get any shots of a suspicious drug like that. I had a normal life in a baraki. I wasn't involved with the Sotozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family. Oyashiro-san asked me a favor. He asked me to tell him secretly if I saw or heard anything suspicious. It could be about Me-chan, Rika-chan, or anybody in the village. Mia-san believed my story about Oyashiro-sama. Now she's gone. Tomitaka-san died by doing the same thing I did. Oh no, 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 no. I don't want to get involved with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Is this a conspiracy of a group of fanatical cult members, or is it the curse of Oyashiro-sama? Is everything just a set of coincidences, or maybe it's a mixture of a conspiracy and the curse? I don't know! Is it the work of humans, the curse, or a coincidence? Oh no, even the light of the sunset was making me feel dizzy. When did the sunlight in Hinamizawa get so mean? Mia-san told me to keep her investigation secrets. I have her top secret scrapbooks. It might hold the truth about everything. When I realized that, I got scared all of a sudden. I might end up the same way as Mia-san because I have her scrapbooks. If it's a conspiracy, I'll be erased. If it's a curse, I'll be cursed. I should burn the scrapbooks. That's the safest thing to do. But Mia-san believed my story. Mia-san listened to me without laughing. It'd feel wrong to burn them without taking a look. If it's a conspiracy, I have to expose it. If it's a curse, I have to break it. I shouldn't run away. I should fight. That's right, so I decided to fight to seize my happiness. I shouldn't give in to misfortune. I have to fight. I'm going to get rid of all the things that are trying to ruin my peaceful life. I'm going to read those scrapbooks when I get home. I started walking faster. Higurashi when they cry. Kai! Tips, lunch, takeout list. Achievement, icky things. You had to show maggots on that. Were they red maggots or something though? God damn, man. It's like that. This arc has been a bit of a roller coaster, really, hasn't it? It's had depressing moments, heartfelt moments, and straight up disturbing moments. That's Higurashi in a nutshell, really. Oh, and of course, can't forget the carefree scenes as well, those moments. Let's see, what's on our lunch takeout? God damn, now I feel like having Chinese. It's like, it's for a mental clinic, though. Thinking the wrong thing, you're thinking of food. No, it's not food, it's a mental clinic. A creative mental clinic. Hello. To get straight to the point, we can assume that this is an acute case of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. The patient is subject to tremendous stress because of her parents' sudden divorce and being forced to choose to live with either a mother or a father. So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? She probably does. But there seems to be more. Maybe. Furthermore, the patient firmly believes that she was responsible for her parents' divorce, which further drives her to self-mutilation. The patient's largest shock stemmed from a sense of betrayal of her own household, which she believed was an absolute safe haven. Henceforth, there is a high possibility that the patient will resort to psychological defense measures to protect her family. For example, she might feel high disdain for any person of the opposite sex who approaches her or father. She might feel uncomfortable about having other people in her home. She may also display eccentric behavior in order to keep people away from it. As an example latter, there are reported cases of patients unconsciously bringing home garbage. Well, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. Just like, you gotta wonder, it's like, well, she even admitted it to herself in her mind a bit, didn't she, at one point? Is that the reason she collects all the garbage and all that is because it's like stuff that people don't want, and she's just unconsciously kind of collecting it. Maybe she does find them to be cute, but that is also kind of, yeah. It's highly important that the patient remains in close communication with her father. By deepening the communications between the two of them, it strengthens their family bond and loosens up her anxiety. Since the patient only shows signs of an acute syndrome in this case, there's a very good chance that she'll recover within 3 months with her father's support and proper medication. However, it's common for a patient who seemed to have recovered to have a sudden reoccurrence, a flashback, even after 10 years. The fellow is still fairly young, and there's still a chance that he could remarry. However, seeing an unfamiliar member of the opposite sex through remarriage could trigger a flashback in the patient, which may lead to avoidance behavior or hyper-awareness. Please explain this part thoroughly to the father in order for him to understand the recovery process. Should the father decide to remarry, it's recommended that he should hold off in telling the patient until she reaches the age where she's capable of living independently. That's kind of what he was clearly trying to do with Rena. Just like, at least Rena thought that it probably was. Also, the cause of the patient's psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, delusional parasitosis, seems to be its own culture-bound syndrome. The patient blindly believes that leaving her home village will cause a curse, that this curse was the cause of her parents' divorce. We believe that this subconscious defense mechanism reduced her mental trauma by shifting the blame from herself to her village's curse. According to the patient's statement, the culture of her home village is extremely strict and exclusive. The patient believes that there's no way to be saved from the curse other than by going back to the village, as the curse will continue as long as she lives in her current environment. Through this we see an inclination of schizophrenia. I believe the chances are high that the patient will continue to alter their perceived reality. Schizophrenia, a case where a patient's personalities are reduced, causing altered perceptions of reality and delusions. The illusion about the maggots dwelling in her blood is a perfect example. It's also a case of her psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior. When a delusion involves a psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, it's extremely dangerous. I highly recommend for the father to move back to the village if he's financially capable. Allowing her to live with relatives in the village might also help, even though I don't think she has any other living relatives there. If such a strong belief can induce symptoms such as self-mutilation, and there might be other cases similar to this one. Perhaps prior medical files that document similar culture-bound syndromes may be available at a large medical institution in our local area. It'll then be possible to provide better and more accurate mental care for the patient by obtaining these case files. The B5 size paper was with a bunch of memos. The following was on the back side of the letter. What? 1 chicken, 3 Shanghai strong among Yagasaba, 1 large fried rice. What? Did they write down their notes on... What the hell? It's like, okay, oh, that's why it says... Oh yeah. You wrote that kind of important information on a frickin' takeout note. How professional. About homing ability and homesickness. If you interpret homing ability in a broad sense, you can say that most animals have a homing ability. It's the same with humans. We like to sleep, rest, and eat at a place where we feel comfortable, namely our homes. Your home is to you what nests are to animals. Therefore, we can say that humans have a homing ability as well. Yeah, it's very true, isn't it? It's just like, the home is where you're supposed to feel you're most comfortable, you know? It's like, for example, this is a really out random one. It's like, say, for example, you're out in public, you need to use the toilet. The preferred choice would be your own, at home, because you feel more comfortable there. If it's someone else's house, or a public restroom, which is even worse, not quite as comfortable, you're not in the environment that makes you comfortable, kind of thing. So your shit homes in on home. First of all, why do animals need nests? The answer is the same as for humans. Sleeping, resting, and eating are the essential little actions for survival. At the same time, those actions leave one defenseless as well. That's why you need a safe area where you can be defenseless. Everybody knows that not having this safe area results in a high level of stress. And, you know, just like some cases, home isn't the safe area for some, isn't it? When you move an animal to a new environment, it naturally becomes stress. Yeah, it's just like that, isn't it? Moving is stressful as well. When you force a person to live in a foreign land where they aren't comfortable, they become greatly stressed as well. Everybody also knows that this kind of stress is called homesickness. Japanese don't know much about homesickness. We defined it as mental weakness and we neglected to treat it for a long period of time. However, homesickness has a very long history. In Europe's Middle Ages, people believed that it wasn't a mental but rather a physical disease. People also believed that out of everyone, the Swiss got the disease the most. Now I wonder how all this looks in Japanese. Home shika. I think that's ho ma shi ku. See what I mean in Japanese? It's like homesickness, but it doesn't have the whole thing drawn out there. Swiss. Suis. That's obviously for Switzerland there. They also got that for people. I can't remember. It's just like... my dictionary has that. Let's have a look. There is like a character for that. Like, yeah, we can probably find it in here somewhere. Or not. Yeah, you can add no at the end there. Oh wait, no. Actually, let me see. Oh, it's, I think Jean, I think is how you pronounce it. So Swiss Jean. So yeah. Wonder if Europe's in here. That's probably Europe right there, isn't it? That isn't Europe. But then again, they have like waitress, for example, in Japanese starts with an U, which is weird because they've actually got wa, so why not do that? Well, actually that would sound weird, wouldn't it? Waitress. No, it's waitress. Yeah. I forget what character this is, but that's Raw. And that's probably drawn out of pronunciation, and that's poor. Dewa. So yeah, that's Europe. The Swiss, you see, were known to be an ethnic group that worked away from home in that area. To live far away from their homes, there were no telephones at the time, so they couldn't even hear their families' voices for ages and ages. It's easy to imagine that the young Swiss workers got homesick while working in a strange land. The Swiss who got homesick wanted to go home, but they couldn't because of their jobs. The conflict made them weak physically and mentally. Some of them went crazy and tried to escape from their reality by committing suicide or running away. The Swiss at the time were very superstitious, and many folk remedies and occult-like treatments to prevent homesickness went around. Since going home was the only treatment, they must have called it a fatal disease. But it isn't really one, of course. Specifically, homesickness is a sign of that human homing instinct. Your brain desires to go back to your safe area, namely your home. At first, your brain makes you remember the happy memories of your home, and it urges you to go home in a natural way. But when reason stops you from achieving your desire, your brain starts sending unnatural signals to your body. As a result, your body gets weak, and that makes it more difficult for you to live in a strange land. In the end, you have to bend reason in order to achieve your desire to go home. So homesickness is born from our homing instincts. And the stronger one's homing instinct is, the stronger their homesickness. The strength of that homing instinct varies from individual to individual and depends on the environment in which those individuals live. When your home is safe and the environment you live in is dangerous, your homing instinct grows stronger. On the other hand, when the environment you live in is safer than your homing instinct becomes very weak. Safety isn't the only element that affects strength. Cultural aspects affect it too. The many customs demanding families to return home for major events varies with each region, so your birthplace culture also alters the strength of your homing instincts. Amongst those regions, the Transcendence Vonnegafuchi village were believed to have an excessively strong homing instinct. People of Vonnegafuchi forbade their fellows from ever leaving. Many believed this was the effect of the elitism and sense of purity I already mentioned before. People today will still strongly believe that Oyashiro-Sama puts his curse on you if you break his rule and abandon the village. This superstition can be interpreted as homesickness. Well, I'm just now realizing this is probably Takano's scrapbook, isn't it? I mean, we saw a lot of her scrapbook, I think, maybe. We did in Maggots, didn't we? I can't remember if it was part of the tips or if it happened in the main story as well. Because usually this stuff's reserved for tips instead. Homesickness is directly proportional to one's homing instinct. The exaggerated expression curse would signify the strength of that homesickness and also their homing instinct. I presume that they hated the outside world and created an insular society precisely because of their powerful homing ability. Unfortunately, there's no way to measure the strength of the homing ability that the primitive people of Onikafuchi had. They were so strongly forbidden to leave the village that nobody left long enough to get homesick. However, after the Meiji era, things changed. The sacredness of Onikafuchi dwindled with the efforts of modernization. Many young people started longing for city life, and some people were forced to leave the village to get a job. As a result, villagers started venturing outside the village borders. That was when the transcendence of Onikafuchi realized how strong their homing ability was for the first time. Residents of Hinamizawa got extremely homesick. After a while, people started to call this homesickness the curse of Oyashiro-Sama. It became rumored that a person who left the village to get a job in a strange land was cursed, that he went crazy and died, and people who had left the village started coming back to either it or the nearby town. Their homesickness and their homing ability were very strong because of their culture. It's reasonable to think that these were cultivated by the unique religion in Hinamizawa, namely the cult of Oyashiro-Sama. From the moment they were born, they were taught the rules of Oyashiro-Sama. They must have felt guilty about leaving the village unconsciously. As a result, they considered their homesickness to be the curse of Oyashiro-Sama. I'm not sure if their homesickness got stronger because of the rules of the Oyashiro-Sama, or if they made the rules of Oyashiro-Sama because their homesickness got stronger. I don't know which came first. I got tired of reading such small print and lay down on the floor on my back. The true identity of the curse of Oyashiro-Sama is homesickness. This is the same ceiling that we saw in Maggots and Shion's apartment. It all looks the same. It's the same picture. Miss-chan believed my story and she let me read these scrapbooks, so I expect to find something interesting. But what it's saying is that the answer to it all is homesickness, which many doctors told me so many times at counseling. I'm a little upset. The word homesickness can't explain the extraordinary experience I had. I saw Oyashiro-Sama come down to me from a bright light in the bathroom. I saw the dusky red nasty maggots come out of my blood vessels. The scrapbook doesn't explain any of that. I don't understand how Mia-san was going to explain the cloud of maggots. Maybe she didn't have any explanation of that to begin with. Was it just a delusion? I flipped through one of the other scrapbooks Mia-san let me borrow, looking for an explanation of the maggots I saw. Then I found it. She found it! What will it say? What could it be? It's been nearly 2 hours recording, so find out next time. So I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.